Picking off where we left off yesterday in regards to what type of leathers are good for luxury purchases, I wouldn't say that any one brand is good or bad anymore. Again, I think it comes down to the design and the craftsmanship or the production of a bag and the materials that are being used. So I will elaborate more on this question. So a lot of woven bags are made in Napa sheepskin leather. And Napa sheepskin leather is a lot softer than cow or calf leather. Traditionally, leather garments, if you think of leather jackets, especially more fine tailored leather jackets, skirts, dresses, shirts, things like that are all made in very fine sheepskin Napa. That's because it's much thinner than calf or cow leather. It's much softer. And the Napa finish specifically means that it is far less coated. It has a more natural finish on top of it. So that's where the Napa finishes are where you really feel that traditional buttery leather. It's super silky. It's super slinky. It's super drapey. And it's great for garments, honestly, because it moves with the body and it stretches with the body and it's very comfortable to wear. It is also much more delicate than calf or cow leather. It scratches easily. It cannot get wet. Do not get caught in the rain in these jackets. And it can tear more easily, so you do really need to pay attention. Now, currently, there's this big trend for these pillow top bags. And these are all done in a Napa sheepskin leather as well, because that is the way that you can get this really pillowy, puffed look. Now, when it comes to this trend of pillow top bags, these are mostly using Napa sheepskin leather. And I just really don't like it when we're talking about durability or repairability, because like I said, Napa and sheepskin leather is much more delicate than cow or calf leather. And so when you're using it in applications like shoes and bags, you're just going to see the wear and tear a lot more easily. Not to mention you have a way higher risk of ripping, any of these points on the bag, especially the points that are super puffed. And that kind of brings me to bags like this, where if they're made in calf or cow leather, I think they would be totally fine and durable. But if they are made in a Napa leather, a Napa sheepskin leather more specifically, then they're going to be a lot more delicate. Napa sheepskin leather is also notoriously difficult to do edge painting on. Because it's much more open and porous. So I'm sure that it's done beautifully, but whether it's going to stay beautiful for a long time is another question. Personally, I just think you're way better off going with like a calf leather for that super kind of supple look than the pillowy bags, because it's much more durable. Not to mention, guys, that I have seen in the factories when they cut the Napa sheepskin leather, like sheepskin leather is much smaller than cow or calf leather, obviously, and they literally cut one piece out of the center of the skin and throw the rest away. The wastage on bags made from sheepskin leather is like 60%. When I'm back in the studio, I'll have to show you. I mean, it's great for me because I get to reuse it, but let's be honest. The one exception I would have is when bags are traditionally woven, kind of like this, because weaving sheepskin leather came from the fact that when you weave a material together, it inherently makes it twice as strong. And so traditionally, in places where they didn't have access to cow and calf leather, they used to weave sheepskin leather in order to be able to use it for bags and satchels. And that's kind of where woven leather comes from. It's not necessarily invented by one specific brand, although one brand has definitely marketed it more successfully than any others. But we have been weaving leather for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And this is why in my bags, I do the woven leather panels, but then the rest of the bag where the tension points are going to be, like the strap, like the bottom, like where the strap attaches to the bag around the zipper where there's a lot of tension, is actually almost always in calf or cow leather, because it is just more durable and it's going to last and retain its shape and help the bag retain its shape a lot better over time. Now, I will say when you're doing the braiding of this type of strap or macrame or hand braiding in any way, Napa leather is usually wrapped around a cord inside, and you want to use a Napa leather because it's much softer and makes a much prettier braid. But again, you're braiding it so it becomes very strong. It's the same idea as like knotting ropes. So like I say, many, many times over. It's not necessarily about the brand, it's about the design and the materials used. Again, this is one of my best-selling bags, and you can see in the top, I have a strip of the calf or cow leather. This is cow leather, I'm pretty sure. And also where the rings attach, like this little, where you can see on the side, like the tassel is obviously in an apple leather because it looks nicer, but the entire strap is in a cow leather because it's way more durable. And the only exception that I have is my macrame bags. These are all done in either super, super, super soft pebbled calf leather, always upcycled. All of my bags always upcycled, always rescued and recovered leather. But still, I pay attention to the design based on the type of leather that is needed. So these are mostly done in Napa or in super soft like calf leather, because in order to get this macrame effect, you obviously can't use a super stiff leather. Here's a close-up just so you can see, obviously with all that knotting, a softer leather is better, but because it's all braided and knotted together, it does make it very strong. And this is an evening bag anyway, so there's a lot less tension. Anyway, hope this helps. I don't inherently think any brand is good or bad. I just think there are good and bad designs and good and bad materials, and maybe some designs that are more thought out than others. And I would encourage everybody on here to do a little bit of research and not just go directly to the big luxury brands. There's a lot of other amazing brands like me, like Sieme, that are doing really cool things and being really thoughtful and considerate about how they use materials and how their bags can hold up and be durable over time. So whatever bag you decide, just keep that in mind. Ciao for now.